What's up, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to Crash Course RC today. I want to do a little kind of review and setup of this Flysky FSGT5 radio and receiver combo. Want to show maybe some beginners how to set your endpoints on your servo here. I don't have an ESC for this two-wheel drive buggy yet. I'm going to simulate an ESC just using this. This is actually to power a nitro receiver for a nitro powered RC car. But as long as your receiver is getting power, we should be able to plug this into our receiver and set our endpoints and bind this to our radio. I've kind of stuck a little white piece in there just so you guys know when you do get your ESC, the lighter colored piece right here, little white piece, will go towards the inside. You guys can see that. Like I said, should always go to the inside. Your ESC should always go in channel 2, and your servo should always go in channel 1. Up top, you'll see bind. Your radio and receiver should come with a bind plug of some kind. You just plug that in, and I'll show you how to bind that to your radio. So first thing we're going to do, let's just go ahead and power on the radio. And model, we can, let's just do a new model. So I'm going to select, I don't know, 16 just for example. You can go ahead and name it. You know, you got 4 different areas there. You can name it whatever you want. But let's go ahead and bind. So to bind your receiver, first off, we're going to take our servo and we're going to plug it in channel 1, like so. Notice the lighter colored wire, whether it's yellow, sometimes it might be orange, sometimes it might be white, goes to the inside. And your ESC is going to go into channel 2 here, like so. This is a 6-channel receiver. Notice it is blinking. So from this point, I'm going to turn my radio back off once I have the channel that I want set. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to hold this bind button here and turn the radio on, and you should see that receiver stop blinking, which means it should be connected to your radio. See that? So now when I turn my wheels, my radio is bound to that receiver, which is running the servo. So the next thing we want to do is set our endpoints. And why this is important, if you're over stretching your servo and your arms don't have enough travel, it's putting a lot of unnecessary stress on your servo. So like maybe I can demonstrate that there. As I turn this way, you can kind of see my wheels are turned to the max, and this is still wanting to push. So all you're doing is kind of stretching and putting stress on your servo because your wheels are already the max turning radius, as you can see here. That little bit of extra right there is probably unnecessary. So what we want to do is get the wheels to turn to the maximum radius without stressing out our servo. And to do that, we need to set our endpoint. So we'll hit our button here, and we'll go to EPA. This is endpoint adjustment, and we'll select that. When you turn the steering wheel right or left, you will see this change. So and you'll see this number here. So now I click the button there, and now my 100 is flashing. So let's set the right side first. I'm going to turn it all the way to the right, and then I'm going to dial it down and take all that unnecessary stress off my servo. Like this one all the way down to 69%. And you know, whenever you set up a new channel, you should make sure that your steering trim is set to 0. Otherwise that might throw you off too. If you're binding to a channel that's you might have used on a different RC car, you know, your steering trim might not be set to 0. So anyway, like that. That looks pretty good, feels pretty good. Now let's go ahead and we'll turn it to the left. And as you can see, it'll go all, the wheels are at the maximum radius, but that servo still wants to stretch more, if you guys can see that. So what we're going to do is we'll turn that down. And I kind of turn it to the max and just turn it down until maybe these wheels just move just a bit. So now you can kind of see I'm moving right, I'm moving left, and it looks like I'm getting full turn on my caster blocks here, whatever they're called. You can look at that too. A lot of times these actually have a little screw in here that is used for a stop point. I don't know if I can show you guys that. But, all right, let's go ahead and make sure that our steering trim was set to 0. It should have been on a brand new radio and a brand new receiver, but we're going to exit out of that, and we're just going to hit this button, and you'll see you can move it right or left. And what that's doing is you can kind of see you can fine tune your steering servo just in case when you put your servo horn on, it's not an exact sitting right at exactly 0. You can fine tune that. So I'm going to set this back to 0 because that looked really, really good. But yep, just kind of quick review. Your endpoint adjustment, right, left. And like I said, that looks good. I really like this radio. It has a lot of capabilities. It is a 6-channel radio. Pretty much all you would ever need for a crawler, probably, or any racing. I've been very happy with it. It does have I think this is a JST plug that you can plug in here and buy a LiPo battery for, so you can just recharge that. And it'll usually last a lot longer than your standard double A's. Or you can buy some rechargeable double A's. But all right, thank you guys for tuning in.